Catching up with trainer Cran Dalgety after what's being described as one of the most incredible derby wins seen in New Zealand. Of course, Krug was spectacular. Cran, are people right? Is this one of the most spectacular races you've seen?
Well, I'll be biased and say it probably is. Probably because it's way in the ordinary. Sure, we're lucky enough to win the race, but actually backpedaling from there, just the way the event unfolded, really, I suppose you could say. It was just very out of the ordinary to the general public and probably to Tony Hurley and myself, really. So, different.
Of course, it must be incredible for a trainer to be watching on and seeing all this unfold, let alone us sort of harness racing fans and punters. So we thought we'd get the chance to run through the race. Horses behind the gate. Of course, he's drawn handily enough in 5 there, Krug. So I guess with your main rivals drawn outside your second row, Tony had sort of no option but to press forward.
Yes, well, being one of the favourite horses, Johnny, we actually just putting all the pieces together. Like I said to Tony and also Jay Benacki, who was driving our other one, Older Sensation, who'd drawn 2. We thought he might better get to the rail before the one horse, but as you saw, that was the first thing we got wrong. He couldn't get to the rail there, so. And then I said to Tony, well, you just drive him confidently and do what you think. We won't know what's going to happen till it unfolds, but he had to go forward, in which he did.
They've got to the bell, 2 laps to go, and he's clearly on the bit. This is a little bit unusual for Krug because, as we've seen in the past, he can take a trail and he can certainly relax into his work. Was he just feeling really well out there? What sort of made him switch on, obviously, over the longer trip for the first time?
Combination of a lot of things. 2 starts ago, we actually put a set of blinds on him because he'd been pretty casual in his events, and we put a set of blinds on the start before, which he won, and just got him a wee bit more sharp and on the bit. And then we discussed with Tony during the week that we might actually keep the blinds on him. We thought he'd relax, and basically we wanted him a bit sharper because he's very cruisy in his racing. So we left them on, but then working back from there. We had a lot of treatment done on him, like massage treatment and general well-being of the horse. And the last probably 4 days building up to the race, he was just in a really zone that we just knew his character had changed. He was really veiny in his body, and everything fell into place pretty good. So to answer your question, for him racing keen like that, he just felt super.
Okay, we'll just pause the action here. We're at the, say, the 1,300 metre mark. He's had his mouth open and he's probably slipped away from the field by about 3 lengths. What's going through your mind at this point, given the fact that, I guess on one side of things, you probably don't want to see him over racing, but as you've just said, he's just so well in himself, I guess it's almost a little bit natural for him to get keen and on the job.
Yes, because of the horse's attitude and the smartness as he is, it wasn't an out of control sort of arrogant sort of keenness and how he got. He just generally was feeling very good, and to go to a bigger margin out in front, with a mile to run, I was thinking to myself, well, if any other sort of inexperienced driver was driving, I thought that may be the wrong option to do that. But I thought, well, we did have the best in the business driving him, as in Tony Hurley, and I thought, well, that's obviously the right option at the chosen time. So momentarily I was concerned, but then I became comfortable not long after that.
Yeah, we're just paused at the 800 now. He's around 12 in front of the field. Now, speaking to you after the race, you've done a few calculations at this point, and your confidence, as you've just said, is on the up.
Yes, well, I thought, just making a bit of a quick summary and calculations from the sideline, I thought he was close to 3 seconds in front of the next horse. I thought, well, even if he ran home in second last quarter in 30, maybe even got home in 31, with that tempo, it was going to be hard for them to catch him. So, and then as we've got to the sort of 600, I felt really confident. 400, I thought, well, gee, in theory, he's going to fall over to be beaten here. And but as we saw, he got the line, and the commentators sort of made a comment that he got the line and sort of had weary legs. But Tony hadn't actually even pulled the earplugs on him, and he could have actually chased him up to win by a bigger margin, but that wasn't a requirement. So, it did look a bit better than it actually was.
We'll just watch him cruising up the straight. He got a couple of taps at the 200, but as you say, actually got to the line under a hold. So I imagine by this point, is there a bit of yelling and screaming going on? I guess a little pat on the back, or talk us through your emotions now that the pressure of him obviously getting to the line is basically over.
Yeah, well, in bigger races, I'm sort of a bit of an arrogant person. I like to sort of standing on my own, away on my own, and just sort of summing everything up sort of solo, really. But yeah, when we met up with Tony in the birdcage, we were sort of laughing at each other, really thinking, well, we both said to each other, what actually happened and what actually unfolded there. But we were victorious at the time. But yeah, I shouldn't say surprised, but I say it was out of the ordinary how it unfolded, and so we're obviously tickled pink with the result, really.
Let's sort of take a step back and look at things. He's just, put everything out on the line in a derby and run the field completely off their feet. We must be talking about a remarkably athletic horse to be able to do what he did on Friday night.
Yeah, well, that's true, because we have to show all respect to all the horses behind him, because basically what that was, it was an accumulation of all the so-called best three-year-olds in the country come together in one chosen time. So to get down to the last 10, 12 horses there, you've headed a few off just to get to that event, let alone actually, beat them by a convincing margin over longer distances. Because as a trainer, we sum up any derby as the 3-year-old New Zealand Cup. So it come with a bit of prestige. A derby, if it even run for a box of fish, would still have that prestige that goes with it.
Let's take a look into the future. Obviously, New Zealand Derby. Really looking forward to seeing him there. Firstly, has he bounced through the run well?
Well, actually, remarkably good. The next morning, we would have excused him if he was still lying on the canvas and sort of getting his energy back. But he was actually remarkably good. But you do see that quite often with an animal that put up a good effort. Usually the second and third day though they're really tired. But he's on transit right now back into Christchurch, and he'll be in Christchurch on Wednesday.
Cran, congratulations to you and Chrissy, the whole team, of course the owners involved. What an incredible thrill. It's been a whirlwind time. Obviously you've been up and down the country. Auckland's been in lockdown. You're trying to buy yearlings. You're trying to set a horse for a derby and other feature races. You had group race placings in both the Young Guns final. An incredible time. Just on the yearlings, how are things progressing there? A great time to jump on board with Kentuckiana. Can we squeeze a share in somewhere for someone out there that might be keen?
Yes, I do have 3 yearlings which I haven't sort of fully completed. I'm putting together. Yeah, that's not to say that they're the least qualities, because here I am 3 days post sales that there's still shares available. But we're sort of all looking to full little corners, and every yearling I only brought them because I liked them understandably, and they all had the qualities in different ways.
Cran, anyone who's keen can get in touch with you. The details on the website, kentuckianalodge.co.nz. Really appreciate your time. Congratulations to you, Chrissy, and obviously Tony Herlihy on a remarkable feat on Friday night.
Yes, it was a buzz, and hopefully the buzz lasts a long time.